me, Nesser. Hey, it's me, Nesser. Guys, so thank you for everybody who's already been watching the episodes of Nesser Pod and obviously subscribed between me and Culture Shop. However, unfortunately, for this episode, we are not going to have any visuals. There was a problem with the file and it got corrupted. However, we were able to salvage the audio, which is fine. It's perfect. I just felt like it was going to be a really massive disservice to Eniola not to put this out. I really enjoyed the conversation. I think she's an amazing girl. And I thought she just handled herself like with amazing like elegance and just spoke so like just articulate. And I just felt like I just had to put the episode out there. I hope you guys watch it and I hope you guys enjoy. I know it's long. I appreciate everybody who does take the time to tune in. And once again, apologize for the lack of visuals on this episode, but keep tuning in, keep watching, and let us know what you think. Bye. Take me back to the beginning. I want to kind of know more about you, and I want the audience to also know more about you. What was growing up being Eniola like? Like, what was your childhood like?
Oh, geez. I actually don't think much about my childhood. It's like a forgotten part of myself, and I feel like recently I've been trying to like get to know that part like a little bit more. But like growing up, like I grew up in a very strict like household. Like it might sound like I didn't, but excuse me.
Why would it not sound like you didn't?
Because my parents my mom is very easygoing now, but like growing up, like, sorry.
Off that phone, please.
Yeah, I thought I put on Do Not Disturb. You can cut that out. What was I saying? Yeah, growing up, my mom was very strict. I come from like a very academic family and like not to be conceited or brag, but like I was like the most academic one out of my sisters, my twin and my older sister.
I was also the most academic and talented one of my family.
Yeah.
Joy and Emmanuel, if you're watching, good job.
Yeah, and they know that, but I felt like it was just so much pressure all the time, like according to my mom, I was supposed to be a doctor. My dad didn't really care. He's very easygoing, he's just like, do whatever makes you happy, just leave me alone, know. But my mom is just like, school, college, graduate, get your first degree, work, and after that, I don't care what you do. So it's like I wasn't really allowed to have a lot of friends. I didn't go out a lot. So I felt like because of all that pressure, I just wanted it like off me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like rebel. Like, I feel like a lot of like African kids can relate to that, where you feel like the only way for you to let go of me and not have so much expectations of me is for me to just disappoint you,
100%.
like, and that's exactly what I thought. I was just like, if I disappoint you, you'll leave me alone. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but then after I stopped talking to my parents, there was less pressure.
Like, in the sense of cutting off
just like cutting off the relationship I had with them for a little while, and then obviously when I did like go back to speaking to them, I felt like they were afraid to like lose that relationship again, so they were more like open to whatever it is that I wanted to do. It wasn't because they didn't have any expectations for me, but because the relationship meant more than whatever expectations that they put on me. You know what I mean?
At what age did you feel like you needed to cut that off?
Probably about like 15, 16. At that point, I was crazy at that age, like I was...
How old are you now? Sorry, if you don't mind.
I'm 21 right now.
You're still really young.
Yeah. But 15, 16, I wanted to leave home. I was like, I need to get out of here. I can't even speak about like how bad it was.
Do you feel like you've, because for me, my parents weren't strict, but like because I succeeded in a lot of things, like in sport and in school at a very young age, that any disappointment felt like the end of the world. Yeah. Like any little thing, like I remember like I never got like well dones or thank yous and stuff like that in the sense of like getting stuff done. Like I would be getting A's 100%, 30-something% all the time in school, but like no offense to my brothers and sisters, like it wasn't the same, but like I just felt because of that the bar was set from a really young age.
Yeah, it was.
It was almost like obviously you did well. It wasn't like, oh, well done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was more like, well, do it again.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, exactly. There was, I was like, when does it stop? You know, when are you going to be satisfied with me? And I felt like that really like, it pulled through, and it shows like in who I am right now, where I'm so hard on myself. I'm never satisfied with myself because I felt like my parents were never satisfied with me. Of course they loved me, but I felt like I always feel like I can do more, you know, but I never take a chance to be like, but look at what you're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Do you feel like your achievements was connected to their love for you? I know you're saying like, of course they love you, but do you think that was connected to the fact that you succeeded?
I don't think it was love per se. Like, I think it was more like, well, now you're the favorite child. You know, it was like, and it was obvious that whoever was doing well at a certain point was the favorite child. So it wasn't really about, oh, now I love you more. It was more about, now I value you more, you know?
Yeah. And you said, and that seems to have like come into your personality in the sense that, do you connect your value to the things that you do as opposed to who you are?
The things that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're ever going to try break out of that, or how are you working with the understanding of that?
Well, I would like to get rid of that, but I feel like that is what motivates me, you know, like, and obviously like I can shift my thinking and make it work for me like in the reverse form, but I don't really think I want to, you know, like,
Why not?
Because I just feel like I wouldn't do enough then, because I would just be like accepting the fact that like, it's okay if I don't want to do this, or, you know, like, it's okay if I don't feel motivated today. Like I can try another, I don't want to be like that. You know,
how does the pressure of needing to be motivated every day, what does that feel like?
Oh gosh, it's draining.
Yeah. So
but
in
it's
the sense of not putting that on yourself, are you scared of what you would feel like? Is that more unknown to you than the pressure?
What do you mean?
So in the sense that you said that you wouldn't change that about yourself.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, you are not changing something that is draining towards you.
Yeah, it's like self-inflicted. Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
it's like I feel like,
but yeah,
it works in my benefit.
Yeah.
You know, and right now it's working for me. And yes, it is draining, but like I don't know how I would be without it. You know.
And you're not ready to find out either.
No.
I hear it.
No.
I hear it.
I'm very comfortable with it now, even though it's draining.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would prefer it without.
I can relate in the sense that I spent up till last year as an athlete, and I got sick, and then I couldn't play football anymore.
Okay.
And not going at 100 miles per hour was a lot more comfortable. Was a lot more uncomfortable of a feeling for me than going from work to the gym, from work to another training session, to sleeping maybe like 5 hours a night, like coming back home, rushing to eat my food, rushing to do everything. Like that was my pace for 7 to 25, 24. And in the last year, I've had more diverse experiences. But when it first happened, like I remember finishing work, like I started a new job 9 to 5. I remember finishing work and being like, there's so many hours before I can go to sleep. Yeah. And I had nothing to do, and the pace had like dropped. Yeah. And, like I wasn't drained anymore. I wasn't like, I'm not drained. I'm not kind of under pressure. I'm walking at my own pace. Like, and initially it felt like the hardest thing I'd ever done, as opposed to like running up and down. You think that that's a lot harder, but you're almost used to the madness, right? Like, exactly. Yeah. I hear it.
Like, it's like being able to like thrive in chaos. You know, like that's just how you operate. Yeah.
That's a skill.
Yeah.
I would rather no chaos, but I hear it.
Yeah, I don't. When I'm idle, like that's what makes me lose my mind, because it's like, what next? Like, what do I do? Like, but you have to. Sometimes you have to just like accept the fact that it's okay to chill. Like, you know, like, and I'm saying this even though I'm not like that.
I was gonna say, repeat that. Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes it's okay to chill.
Just to say it again.
You have to accept the fact that sometimes it's okay to chill.
I just want you to say that for you, because you're saying it. But
I know, but that's the thing about me. It's like I know what I should do. Yeah. Like I know what the right thing, but I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, you know, it's like I can give advice, but I'm not gonna take it. Yeah. You know, like that.
People I don't like. But to be fair, I'm one of those type of people as well. But back to kind of your parents and stuff. Yeah. A lot of us, 21, you're really mature for your age. So I don't want to treat you like a 21-year-old in that sense. But there is a lot of differences that come with age.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not trying to say like I'm more wise than you or whatever.
Yeah, of
I'm
course, yeah.
Bro, I wish I was 21. But actually, no, I don't. I'm happy with my age. But in the sense where a lot of us right now come to a realization that our parents are human, and we see a lot of their flaws and faults in a different sense.
Yeah.
Have you reached that yet, or is that something you're building up to?
Yeah, I have, and actually, it was just, well, not completely, but I have. You know, when I was back in New York with my mom, because I hadn't seen her before that in about a year. Like, I see her once a year. You know.
Sorry, do your parents live in Ireland?
No, my mom lives in New York.
Okay.
My dad lives in Galway. But when I was over there with her, I kind of realized that I was like, geez, like, you know, like.
Just the person.
Yeah. I'm like, you're just like me. You're just older, you know? Like, I was like, like, I put so much, I tried to blame you and, like, look for wrongs in you, but I'm like, you've only done life once. This is the first time for you. So, like, I understand not everything is going to be done right. And it's like, given her past, you know, like, it's like, I shouldn't be so judgmental of that because it's like, she's human, you know, like, she's making mistakes the same way I'm making mistakes. And, like, I can't blame her for maybe, like, treating me a specific way because, like, if, like, I'll be real, like, if I had a kid like me, like, sometimes you would, you know, like.
You don't know what to do. Like, they're learning. Like, even my mom, I have to talk to the lads about this, but my mom, I literally was in Naples with my mom like 2 weekends ago. It's the first time I've travelled with her.
Yeah.
And I expected us to be cat and mouse because we're very like similar. Like, in the parts that we're similar, we're extremely similar. The parts that we're different, we're extremely different.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very much like my dad in a lot of ways. But like, we were just chilling. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, then she called one of her friends, and she was just like, oh, Vanessa, we want to come on the show. We want to talk about what it's like parenting a teenager. And it's like, just hearing their conversations and like the things that they try to do for us. And it's hard that we don't see it at a younger age, but unfortunately that's life. You only have exposure to the understanding and wisdom that you have at certain stages of your life. And same with them. But it's almost like it would be so much easier if we understood, like, just the phrase, like, if I knew what I knew then. Do you know what I mean? You
exactly.
You
do it a lot different.
100%.
Yeah, and she's actually, when I was with her beginning of this year, last year, that's actually what made me want to, like, stop doing OnlyFans because I was like, even though, like, she tried to be really supportive and you're like, yeah, people are gonna judge, you know, like, you know, it is what it is. I could kind of see through it, and it's like
how do you think that made her feel?
Well, a part of me saw the disappointment, you know, and like, it's I don't like disappointing her anymore. Like, I'm just like, I can't, you know, like, she's already going through it, you know, like, she's left the country, like, she's starting again. I don't want to add to that. So I was like, even though, like, she's supportive and she's like, yeah, Eniola, do what you do. People are going to talk, whatever. I was like, I appreciate you because you're being supportive, even though, like, I know that this is hard for you and you are disappointed. And you did expect more from me. Like I said, she's always expecting, but I was like, it's not wrong to want the best for me, you know? And I stopped kind of vilifying it and seeing it as a problem and just being like, what mom does not want the best for her daughter?
If anything, you would be seeking her attention if she didn't want the best for you.
Yeah.
And that most likely would draw you to continue doing OnlyFans.
Exactly.
Anyway. But since we're here, why did you start OnlyFans? So you mentioned obviously wanting to rebel against your parents, but I'm sure that wasn't your first.
No, it wasn't the first.
It wasn't your first option in the sense of disappointing your parents.
Yeah, well, I've had this conversation a lot, and I've also had a lot of time to think about it. But like I would say the first thing was money, and not money because like, oh, I just want fast money and I want it now. It's more of like I was at a point in my life where I was actually at my lowest, you know, and I didn't have much. I had dropped out of college, you know, I didn't live with my parents. I was on my own, you know, and I was like, I need this, you know. It probably came from a place of desperation, you know, but
There's the growth.
Yeah.
Remember we were saying like that's the first point of growth in this conversation. because from when you were talking on where your head at,
Mm-hmm.
and I was listening to that the other day, you mentioned money,
Yeah.
but in the sense of more investing.
Yeah.
And like, not to say that that's not true.
Yeah,
I
no,
think both things
both
are
things
true.
can be true at the same
Exactly.
time. Yeah, it did, because with me, I was like, once I get this money, like I can make more. You know, I can
Yeah.
invest it. I can do this. It was still coming from a business mindset because I believe that's what I have.
Yeah.
You know, but it also came from a place of desperation
Yeah.
because I was like, I need it. I can multiply it. Like I will be fine. You know, but it was that, and like I think really that was it.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, that's just what it was because like, and it's so easy for people to judge and be like, oh my God, she's a whore. Like, how could she do that? But I'm like, unless you are in my position, I'm not saying that nobody else has ever been in that position. Unless you're in that like survivor mode, which
Yeah.
I've spent a long time in, you know, you're thinking like that. You're not thinking about the
At a
consequences.
very young age as well.
Yeah,
I
like
think the
you're
consequences are a lot lighter at a
yeah.
young age.
You're not really, there's no critical thinking going on. It's just, I need it, I want it, I'm gonna get it now. You know, so that's kind of how it was for me.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not in that place of desperation
100%.
anymore.
As
You know.
can see, shutting down.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
What was your relationship with yourself and your body like at that time? So obviously desperation in the sense of financially, but how did you feel about yourself at that time?
I've never actually thought about that. You know, I've always liked my figure, you know, like I think that's probably why it was easy for me to do it because I'm like, shit, like I look good. I did look a bit prepubescent, you know. I've always been a very slim girl, you know. I wasn't fully like developed. I'm still not really, but like, you know, it was like I didn't really think about, you know, like it's like an adrenaline rush. Like, you know, you're just going, you know, because when I started it that night, I posted that night, you know, and then I feel like I kind of never let myself think any deeper.
You
You know, you can't.
I don't think anybody with, like you said, a critical mind or a way, anybody who's going to think about that deeply or analytically would come to any other conclusion. I think you would have freaked yourself out and then probably not done it.
Yeah, a lot of the times it was easier not to rationalize it.
100%.
You know, even whenever I found myself, like I used to smoke a lot of weed, like so I would overthink. But whenever I found myself getting that deep, I'd just be like, Eniola, no.
Yeah.
You're getting the money. Life is good. Forget about it. You
It
know,
was almost like a means to an end. Almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have any negative experiences during your time doing OnlyFans?
I mean, not with OnlyFans. I'm not going to say that OnlyFans is this. I respect women that are on OnlyFans. You know, I probably am the latter. Like, I have no problem with it. But a lot of, like, the negative experiences came from outside of OnlyFans. You know, it came from people.
Yeah.
It was never my subscribers. It was never OnlyFans.
So.
Yeah, like, you know, it was just people's thoughts, you know, because people think that their thoughts matter to me. But it doesn't.
Do you know that's something I've actually said? Like, opinions are literally that.
Yeah.
Like, they can influence a lot of things. Like, don't get me wrong, but opinions are literally that, and everybody wants to impose theirs on other people.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everybody's free to think whatever they think, but it should really and truly, if we're being honest, stop with us, good or bad sometimes. I think even some of the best opinions can be executed in the wrong, or sometimes worse way. But in what you're saying, like, you don't seem to somebody who's ever had a bunch of friends or a group of people that you would trust.
No.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, like, I have a lot of trust issues, you know, and because of what I've been able to do for myself and the position that I'm at right now, I feel like I attract the wrong kind of people, you know, because before I did OnlyFans, I had a best friend, you know, like, and that's the way I've always been. I have my one friend that I'm close with, and I'm okay with that. You know, I like a close circle. But because of this, like, I feel like I attract the wrong people, and the people that I attract, they just want to take all the time, you know. And it's like, I know it's not me because I'm a very kind person. I'm very giving, and when I love very hard. And I think people take advantage of that. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm still young, so it's okay for me to be naive, but it's like I I expect the
Don't
best
worry,
from people, but
I'm the exact same.
yeah.
Because, sorry to cut you off.
No, it's
but
okay.
I feel like regardless of however anybody else is,
Yeah.
I refuse to be anything other than myself.
Yeah.
So I will trust, but I'm learning discernment. That's the word. I'm learning discernment in the sense of who I'm trusting.
Exactly.
I will love.
Yeah.
Learning discernment in who I'm loving and how hard I will love. But I don't think that it's fair that everybody else who has issues and wants to be manipulating should dictate how I see the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I want to feel everything intensely. Like, I want to feel the joy intensely. Unfortunately, it comes with also feeling the downsides as intensely, but that comes with maturity and wisdom in the sense of learning how to deal with that. Like, for example, heartbreaks, like the way I would have dealt with one last year shouldn't be the same way I'm dealing one this year, and vice versa. And I shouldn't be finding myself in the same situations over and over again.
Yeah.
So in the sense of what you're saying, I completely agree with you. If that's who you feel you are, and that's the type of person you feel you are, I think that's nothing wrong with that. There's people who want to be dickheads as intensely as possible. So why should you limit your freedom in caring and vulnerability? Because I think that there's more strength in wanting to love and wanting to see the best in other people than the others, you know?
I feel like that is, that's true. But I feel like I have a little bit to lose when I'm like that.
You have a lot.
I didn't want to be too, but yeah, I do have a lot to lose. Yeah,
you could
and
lose yourself.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I've seen it happen. Even with an ex, like, I've seen myself lose myself, and I'm like, I can't do that on the path that I'm on right now. I can't afford to lose myself, so it does mean that sometimes I have to be closed off, and I'm willing to be closed off for a certain amount of time till, I get to where I want to be. And then I'll be like, okay, but right now I can't afford to be like that.
In saying that then, do you feel like doing OnlyFans as a mean to an end has not actually, it's given you the means, but it's not given you the end that you wanted, in the sense that you've made money, you wanted to attract a certain type of people, but unfortunately the environment you're in does not allow you to attract those type of people?
Well, sorry, can you repeat that?
So, well, I'm even confused about what I said. So, OnlyFans being a means to an end, you wanted money to be able to invest and live a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you said that you're attracting the wrong type of people. So, you obviously made that money to do and attract a certain caliber of people.
Well, not really.
Okay.
No. It was more so a thing of like, I've made the money. This is not something I see myself doing forever.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt the people close to me by continuing to do this, so I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
And also, it's no longer a passion. I don't know if it ever was a passion. It was maybe just for the moment, and that's all it was. But right now, I would like to explore something that I'm passionate about, and that's fulfilling to me, because that's not fulfilling to me anymore.
100.
So it's just like, it's nothing complex. Like, there's it's just simple as, it's not my passion.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm willing to give that. Like, there's some things that are just worth a lot more than just cash. Like, how much money do I need to be satisfied? I could spend another 2-3 years doing it, and I will not be satisfied. At the end of the day, being passionate about something and actually putting in work into something sometimes is a lot more than just money.
100%.
Like, it's like,
second point of growth.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm getting it.
I just want to point it out so that you see, because I think that a lot of the times, and I don't know you, like, this is our first time having a conversation more than you want to come on the show. Yeah, I'm going to come on the show. But I do find that as you grow older, like, whether it's money or pleasures or whatever, like, people are chasing something.
Yeah.
But the second you get to a certain age or get to a certain maturity level, you're looking for purpose.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's the space that you're in.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot about passion and purpose.
How do you allow that? So before we leave OnlyFans there, what is something that, I hate to give advice against something because people do whatever they want.
Yeah.
If somebody was going to do OnlyFans anyway, how would you advise that person to do it safely?
Look, there is no doing it safely, like, you will be at a loss of something when you decide to do it. I don't. It's not that I don't advise, but it's not. I'm not advising anyone to do it, and I'm not advising anyone to not do it. If you believe that that's something that you want to do on your own terms, yes, do it. There's no way of doing it safely. Something is going to be hurt. You know, whether it's your mental health, you feel like it's your dignity. Like, I don't want to project my own feelings, but like, you're going to be at a loss for something.
I think you should protect your feelings, like, because you've done it, you've gone through it.
Yeah.
As somebody who this time last year probably wouldn't have said these things.
Yeah.
I think that it's important to hear it from somebody who has done it.
But I'm saying it because I have friends who still do OnlyFans, and they just don't feel the same way I feel. For some people, like, it's very empowering and they love it, and, you know, like, they big it up. And yeah, that's true for them. You know, it doesn't mean that that's true for everyone, you know, and it doesn't mean that that wasn't true for me, because at some point I did feel that way. But people grow and people change, and right now I don't feel that way, you know, like, so there's no one-dimensional way to, like, explain that. It's because it's not.
Yeah. I mean, I really and truly asked the question because I didn't want to phase it in a judgmental
No,
way.
it's okay.
Because I feel like, and I truly believe that people will do whatever they want in this world, and it's a sense where if somebody was going to do something, if I was ever going to do something, good or bad, I would like to be fully equipped with the right information before I go into it, you know?
Well, the journey of OnlyFans is different for everyone. You know, all I can say is, like, really have a think about it. And if that's something that you want to do, just either decide whether you want to do it publicly or anonymously, and assess whether that's something you see yourself doing long term. Is it going to affect whatever you want to do afterwards? And talk to your family and see how they feel about it. Talk to your friends, see how they feel about it. Like, it's not going to be dependent. Like, your decision shouldn't be dependent on how they feel about it. But, like, if you really care about them and you feel like their opinion matters, like, you should implement that into your decision. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'd say.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
So post OnlyFans, where is the passion and purpose driving you towards?
Well, I have, like, two things that I'm passionate about right now. Obviously, like, the first one is music. And the second one is I'm still very much into academics. You know, I study psychology right now. And after that, I hope to do law in New York. But I'm kind of seeing where my music takes me right now. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. Yeah.
So with regards to music, congrats on taking a step into the Irish music scene.
Thank you.
But for a lot of people, not a lot of people drop their first song and then perform about 5 days later.
Yeah.
Explain to me how that went.
Well, I do have to give it up to my manager at the time. She did help me get on that. So yeah, that's really that.
How did you feel performing?
It felt liberating. It was good. You know, like, I was like, oh my God, I could do this again. You know, like, and it just, you know, when you're in a situation that just feels right,
like,
you know.
Just feel at home.
This is a space that I feel like I fit in, you know, and I've always been into music, you know. It's not like I woke up one day and was like, I'm going to start rapping, like, you know, like.
OnlyFans didn't take off.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's actually what a lot of people do think, that, like, my OnlyFans wasn't popping anymore and I went into music. But I was like, no, it's like, I've always been into music. Growing up, like most people, I was in choir. You know, I've been writing music since I was about 12.
Oh, nice.
If you go into YouTube, well, I'm not going to expose myself like that. I was only a little one. You know, and I sang, well, really, I was a singer. Okay. I sang a lot. I don't sing anymore. I would need to go to a vocal coach and, you know, train my voice again. But yeah, I've always been into writing. You know, I do see myself as a creative, whether it's poetry, writing journals, like, you know, even with psychology, writing articles. Like, I'm a writer, you know, I'm good at that. So yeah, that's kind of just how it came about.
You mentioned that a lot of people probably think that you just dropped one and picked up the other straight away. How has the response from, well, first of all, the response from the audience that night, and then the response from just other people in the music scene or just fans in general, how has that been for you since you started?
Honestly, it's been really good. You know, I don't think I've had any negative press about it. You know, there's been love, you know, a lot of the way. You know, I think a lot of people were kind of surprised that I was good. You know, they were
I'm
like,
not gonna lie, there's a lot of people who do music in the scene, like, so it is surprising when it's not bad. If that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that your music, like, so with regards to that sounded so bad. With regards to, like, I don't, what do you make, like trap? Like, I've heard
just
it.
rap, hip hop.
But it's like, I'm really not into that music. And I feel like this is the second time I'm saying this, but like, because I said to Teppy Rex as well, but I don't give criticism on music that I don't listen to that genre, if that makes sense. So if someone made drill, if someone made like R&B type music that I listen to, I'll give criticism on how I like it. In the sense of listening to your songs, like, and the one that dropped on Friday, it flows, it sounds good. I've heard worse female artists in the country, which is actually that's a compliment, right? As unfortunately, that's kind of where we are with the Irish music scene. Like, everything is either like on a level or not. Do you know what I mean? And then there's a couple of people who like stand out here and there, and I think consistency will prove differently.
Of course,
you know what I mean? And that's the case. But it does sound good, but it's like, it's almost like Act Up. Like, I listen to Act Up in the club, I'm not playing it at home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But that's the thing. That's what I'm going for.
Okay, good.
You know, like, I'm kind of, like, obviously I'm starting small right now, but I hope to go internationally. You know, like, it's not, and I get it. I don't know if people think it's a compliment when they tell me this, but they're like, oh, your music's so good, but you're not going to do well here. You know, it's, maybe they're being honest. I don't know. But I'm like, how would you know that? It's never been done.
To you in Ireland.
Yeah. But I'm like...
Yeah, I hear it,
yeah,
but it's not a compliment.
Exactly, it's not.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, nothing is ever impossible. You know, like, because I do have Irish acts looking at me. Like, it's not like they're like, oh, we could never... No, she's not someone we could ever work with.
I think there's a gap that you're filling.
Yeah, like, you know.
A gap that you're filling well. I think there's a couple girls in there and they're doing it, and I think you're doing it well so far.
Yeah.
And I think it's how you navigate that, and even in this sphere, like doing podcasting or doing shows on YouTube and stuff, it's like, I believe in the quality of the work that I do, but in the sense of showing that off to the rest of the population, and gaining an audience in that sense. I think the Irish music scene is getting to a place where we need kind of DJs are kind of working hand in hand with performances and artists, which is kind of where it needs to go to find other people other than the other. Like, right now, a lot of the people who listen to Irish artists are other creatives or other artists. Yeah, that's true. But there needs to be like fans that just listen because they like the person or they like the music. I hear you in the sense that nothing is impossible, and with the right team and the right production and all of that, like, I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah, it's not really, because I am of course looking at the States because I feel like they would gravitate more towards my music, but I'm like, look at LMA, Iggy Azalea, 21 Savage, like, these guys they're not Americans. Yeah. Like, wait, 21 Savage, I heard he was British.
He's British, but I think he grew up. I don't know how his visa works.
Yeah, but I'm like, even like, I'm like, they're coming from Australia, they're coming from the UK, like, you know, it's like, and they're going international.
And I think that's where people are at certain people are at right now, where they're not taking the limitations that were handed to them before. And if it's a case where an Irish person is going to do well in a different country, they're kind of happy enough about that. Yeah. There are other people who want to build in this country. Yeah. And I think that's important as well, in the sense that everybody can't keep emigrating.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's not gonna be an industry here, there's not gonna be a scene here if all of the best people or whoever feel so somewhat inclined, if all of them like just leave.
Well, like, I would love to make a mark here, but it's like the support has to be there. And like, I did hear something a couple days ago, or was it yesterday, when I had dropped Spoiled Bitch Anthem, and a friend of mine reposted it. And she told me, and she goes, when she reposted it, someone swiped up and they were like, how are you reposting that? And she was like, because I like the music. And they go, but it's her, you know? Oh. Like, and I'm like, yeah, it is me.
That was actually going to be my next question. Like, how is that? Or have you even heard? Because I feel like Ireland, a lot of people chat, but they don't actually say anything to you.
No, they don't. Like, and that's the thing. Like, when people see me, it's, oh my God, like, I love that, like, boss flow.
There's
like,
never any hate to your
never
face.
To my face. You know, I get shown love I have to say, never in my life have I ever gotten hate to my face. You know, but it's like, Online it's different. I just feel like I don't know. I could be proved wrong, but I just feel like I wouldn't get that support here. I don't know if it's from our community, but
A lot of
I
people
just
say that. I don't know. Like, I think you're fighting a lot of battles in the sense that in our community, I think that you do have a big job on your hands in the sense to reshape how people view you.
Yeah.
And I think that if it's something that you're willing to do and work on, I don't think it's, like you said, I don't think anything is impossible.
It's not.
But people here are humans too, and everybody kind of has their preconceptions about people.
Of course, yeah. Well, it's obviously it's up for me to like change that, but I'm not here to like clear my name or like I don't know, like make excuses or have people like I don't know, like how do I say this? How do I say this?
Pander?
Not even like I'm not here to apologize for my past. I'm not here to apologize for what I did in 2019, 2020. Like, look, I'm growing. If you want to grow with me, then by all means, come with me. But I am not going to sit here and apologize for who I was before. That is who I was. And I'm growing out of it. And if you want to live in the past, do that.
I love that.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be like, guys, I know I made a mistake. Like, I hope you guys can still support me. Like, and I'm not. Yeah, it's not happening.
It goes back to opinions, and opinions are very much linked to ego.
Yeah.
And I think that because people believe, like inherently, that their opinions mean so much, they also would. It means so much to them. They also believe that their opinion should also mean so much to you, regardless of what that opinion is.
Well, it's very entitled of them because it's not happening. It's not. That. Like, I'm not. Like, look, people do things, you know, like.
People do a lot of things in private also.
Yeah.
That we don't know about.
Exactly.
Probably worse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of, they don't have the opportunity for a lot of eyes to be looked up on, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I wear my flaws on my sleeve, you know. I'm not afraid to admit it.
I love that about you. And even the way I approached you and Nina at the time, it was kind of like, I didn't want this to be a situation where you felt that this was going to be like, I don't know, like a cutthroat interview or whatever. That's not the type of person I am. Like, I do want to get to know more about you. And if that's the way it went, then that's the way it went. But like you said, it is a season of growth for you.
Yeah.
And I think that anybody can see that from the way you carried yourself. Like I said, the first thing when you walked in here, like your energy is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It's completely like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, you know who you are and you're not apologizing for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And in previous years that might have looked a different way, but it doesn't look that way now.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that energy from you at all, unless I would have cut this off. Like,
yeah.
But like, I do wish the best for you and whatever you're doing, whether
Thank
it's
you.
music or whatever else. And you know, like, as you grow, you will continue to have obstacles in whatever way. But like you said, you are finding yourself, and there's always going to be obstacles, regardless of whether you did OnlyFans or not.
Yeah.
There's going to be other things in your life that you have to deal with. You know,
of course, yeah. Well, now, I'm just hoping to just deal with those things privately. I feel like ever since I've stopped it, I'm like, I have been a lot more private, you know, and I do like it like that.
Yeah.
I don't like being available all the time, being seen all the time. Like, just, I think I'm just at a point where I'm just like, I'm going to do my music, focus on myself, and just, like, keep a low profile, you know? Like, I think that's just what I want right now.
Last question. Do you feel like you had to put on a certain type of persona all those years? When you were, like, obviously you're doing whatever you're doing, but outside in front of people?
Like, well, not really. Like, I've always kind of been myself, you know,
never met
like,
you prior to
yeah,
that, so.
No, I understand. I have actually always been myself, you know, and that's why I'm like, I don't know. I feel like everything just kind of added up the way it was because that's just who I am, you know, like, not really. Not really.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Hope you enjoyed that episode. Like, follow, share, and, you know, gonna have Eniola's details down below as well. So
stream Spot Bitch Anthem. It's out now.
It's gonna be in like 2 months when this goes up. But yeah, we're done.